Hi there, welcome to Carcassonne with Utse and the Thailand Carcassonne Online Championship 2025. It's the second semi-final where GUN007 and idinidad are trying to follow Pakshi, who won a close one versus Natpira, into the final to then fight for the ticket to the Champions League main stage. I think Thailand should have 3 tickets overall due to the Asian Cup. Yeah, looks like it. So, well, Q1 should be maybe a tad easier than Q3, but might not be the case. So this year, that's the goal, getting the main stage ticket directly via winning this championship. And to even have a chance, these two would need to win today. These are results from the last 2 years, I think. Yeah, sure. They've played in the round robin stage of this tournament already, and back then GUN won with 2-1. Overall, it looks pretty close, and I would expect a close match today as well. So, currently both are rated below 600, but they are definitely capable of near master level play, let's say. So we'll see how this turns out for them today. They should start any second now, and in fact they already have. So almost right there from the beginning. Again, might just be me, but maybe greeting before the clock starts should work as well. You never know if you need the 10 or 15 seconds in the end. So first points on the board over here. 3 for idinidad with these road pieces. Huge chunk of city pieces there. This will be quite unwieldy, but we'd rather not let blue attack this successfully after investing these juicy shielded pieces there. This move allows for both options. So if yellow would get, I guess, the next Dorito, they'd continue over here to still have the option with any big piece to go for the connection, or if they'd get another Dorito, close their diamond. There are still both splitters available, so they might even be able to close both cities without having to deal with a blue meeple in it. So this here by blue, well, it creates a barrier, so it's definitely way harder for yellow now to still attack this city from the right side. But it also takes away the city plus road pieces to connect here. We'll see how this will turn out for blue. In any case, even if yellow would get the splitter, there'd be at least one chance to attack the city again. Unless all city pieces with field on the right side would be gone by then. Blue adding this curve to the monastery. They obviously don't like to wait to get a road monastery here. So they don't really care about the prospect of the splitter and then their city maybe getting blocked. This will become a nice field on the left side. And let's see if blue does something about this here. Only 2 daggers in there, but still 3 city plus straight-ish pieces. He doesn't. But yellow can't do anything to block this, takes points. And their problem is that if blue would get a cap to liberate their city, they of course would take the field immediately. And let's see if yellow tries to harass blue city again, or if they'd rather go up top. They choose to prevent the immediate completion of this city, which sounds fine to me. This complicates this one here quite a lot. So instead of the 1 cap, blue now needs at least 3 pieces to close that city. So the prospects of taking a field and growing it with the same piece are more or less out of the window, but they could still, with the Dorito, take this field, and at least I quite likely would in this case with 4 meeples in hand. So let's see if yellow lets them or if they just take the field some time. Maybe even with this curve, although blocking this square, reducing blue's outs for the monastery drastically seems to be the more precise move. Okay, so they go for the block, which prevents blue from liberating the monastery, as they surely have to protect here. So let's see if yellow goes for the stacking. And at least they would get points if blue completes the monastery. But now that blue is ahead in a meeple count, they actually have no real incentive to place anything here for now. This would just help yellow. So unless they run low on meeples, I would predict them that this monastery is stuck for a while, or would be stuck for a while. So taking 2 points it is, yeah, and of course over here and not up top. Just in case yellow gets the splitter and you need to close your city on your own. And with this road end and the other one, it's even quite likely blue would use a dagger there, just in case. So if the splitter hits, they'd at least get this city. And in some cases, yellow wouldn't even use the splitter. there if this city by blue would be closed on the left side. But now it's taking points, and if you're behind, that's definitely a good idea. Curious though that nobody has taken any field here. Yellow going for the diamond. Still no shield in that city, which is quite annoying for them. And let's see if blue now takes the field or not. They could also add this to the city part over here, which they'd like to complete later. If going for the field, well, there are multiple options. Okay, they don't, so let's skip these. They try to create an option to attack yellow city. There are still all possible tiles to close this one out there, so I really don't see any need for yellow to do anything about this. In the end, they are ahead by 7 points, and if blue opts to attack this city, well, let them. If they wanna attack a city to score 2 points in the end, because that would be the difference between these city parts here, that's more or less at least points-wise a waste of time, but of course they would prevent yellow from scoring at least 5 points. So could still be a good investment if it wouldn't endanger your city up top, that is. So now for yellow, I think I would just take the field now. Yeah, sure, you'd leave the road behind and you'd add another cap, but at least that's on your field. I wouldn't close this one. There's still an extender out there, still two vertical splitters, plus the diagonal ones, although you'd quite likely use them somewhere else. The problem though is they only have the 2 meeples in hand. Yeah, this works even better because it could force blue to act here. Downside is this here might get blocked with a big city tile, so you can't add another city to your field. On the other hand, you wouldn't create an attacking option against your field as well, so might work out in their favor. Yeah, this quite likely will be added to blue city up top. So now it's plus 10 yellow, but with a 12-point field, that's rather easy to attack. So for blue, there's of course this option, and there are these options as well. And maybe depending on what happens here, there could be an option to attack from the right side too. So blue limits yellow city to the remaining 2 field Doritos plus splitters and maybe cows. But cows would be problematic as there's only one starting tile left, and so a block would be very likely from blue, and this then could even kill 2 yellow meeples. So it would behoove yellow to just wait for the right piece to close this city. So with 3 meeples in hand and still 3 Doritos with the road out there, I'd use this chance. Add this to your city or possibly your city. But they go up top to block this, which is fine as well. Threatening to close this 12-point city, possible 12-point city, some cases like getting Doritos, for example, even more. But the problem with quadruple city always is if you start with city caps, well, you have to waste 3 of them. And in most cases, that's just not as profitable as using these caps somewhere else. Does yellow ensure the farm? No, they don't. They just add the splitter down here. Someone could explain me why they didn't like this position. Please do. Is it just to create pressure against the square? Well, at least it works because this here would be a complete kill if yellow uses the horse here. There are no left-handed daggers remaining. Okay, this one here would sure sound nice. It's 4 points, plus it gives you the chance once the starting tile has gone to get this meeple back with 4 points, 5 minus the 1 yellow would get. Here's the starting tile, so just reverse the pieces and you are way better off. Sure, you don't know which permutation you'd hit, but I guess might still have risked it just because there's the upside of splitting up top here. So now this one's dead, and there's no chance for blue to get this meeple back. But at least they are able to obstruct yellow city here. But still, 2 splitters there, and even if yellow wouldn't get a splitter, they might even opt to use the Dorito here and then hope to close this anyway, even if it would be quite annoying. Yeah, blue had to liberate this one, else this block to the starting tile would have been possible. So they get one of the crucial field Doritos, which yellow would love to get, and quite likely will have to attack yellow city just to prevent the worst case of yellow running away with this. With 2 Doritos in a row, for example. and with only 17 tiles remaining, so 16 plus the one in hand of Gun already. And still 4 Doritos plus 2 splitters out there. Chances of the double Dorito or Dorito-ish finalization of this city are not that bad. Yeah, there would have also been the option to just limit this square here, but I think this is the correct choice. Blue connects immediately and now is down by 6 points only, but they used the Dorito there. Given this square is dead and adding a Dorito here would extend yellow's field, this might be the right choice. One of the splitters drawn by blue. Any road piece from the left or right at the city would complicate things a lot. There are no caps with roads still remaining, but blue, of course, could use 2 Doritos there. And now it's time to liberate your monastery, even though there is still 1 road monastery and 1 curve to do the same for yellow. So yellow finally gets their diamond-shaped city closed, but it's worth only 8 points. Bad draws for them, not getting more Doritos with shields. And blue, with just a few tiles remaining, thinks about whether to meeple this field already, as there's still 1 splitter out there. There might be permutations where you could close the city and take the field on the other side, but it looks unlikely to me as of now, unless there would be happening something over here. So it wasn't exactly necessary to take the field now, but it definitely saves a move doing this right now and not waiting to do it later. So close game, 2 meeples in hand by yellow, and they go for the jugular, trying to take this 10-point city for themselves. Good chances for them, of course. Still 1 Dorito and 1 big city tile out there, and blue only has a lousy straight in hand. They go for the double attack, so if they'd get the road monastery, they take over this 12-point field, which would be a plus a 15-point move for them. So adding this city to their field and removing 12 points from yellow's score. But if blue would get the road monastery, then yellow would get at least one of the pieces to connect here. So that's a plus 10 move. And 10 minus 15 is minus 5. Then yellow would be down 2 points, and a starting player would need to score at least 3 points on their other move. Maybe even more. Now let's consider this option here. Then blue would extend their field to the bottom, adding 2 points plus 3. Yeah, this could be the winning combination for blue. And that's fine. It scores 1 point. Yellow could have done the same over here. But this here gives the additional option of taking this field, and even with the road monastery like that. But now that there's no more chance for blue to connect here or here, they just score the most points possible. In the end, 26 points, although there was at least the one permutation in which blue could have won. They just needed... No, I'm wrong. They didn't just need the monastery. If they'd gotten the monastery, yellow would have gotten this here and would have used it over here on the field and would have won nonetheless. So first game goes to GUN007. Let's see if idinidad will be able to fight back in the second one. Let's take a quick look at the thinking times, and more or less equal. The 1 minute difference is definitely not that crucial. Both are easily below the 15 minutes they had, and I would expect both of them to take roughly 10 to 12, maybe 13 minutes in the next games as well. So both are definitely not the fastest players on earth, but also not the slowest ones as well. Yeah, quite annoying. You might like to use the monastery here just for efficiency purposes, but blue would love to jump on that and add a tiny little city piece there to block this square. So if you want to stack, you have to build a vertical stack just to be safe. Meanwhile, blue gets the quick points, 8 so far. And there are definitely folks who wouldn't mind doing this now. But yellow decides to take a safer route, and I really can't fault them. Why create a lot of volatility in the beginning if you don't need to? There are still a lot of options for these squares here. But the city cap needs to go anywhere next to your monasteries, of course. Adding 2 points would be preferred, and that's what they do. Yeah, blue obstructs this square, hopes to later limit this to the only quadruple crossroad. And with these two folks here being stuck on the monasteries for a while, it's a bit iffy to attack this city and have the prospects of a big city fight on your hands. But with still 3 meeples, you of course have to take care of this one, and they just opt to create a city on their own. Yeah, this works. In this case, it works quite well, but it doesn't exert any pressure on yellow city on the right side. It even protects it as you limit the possible attacking pieces. And it also gives away this free city cap for yellow to take next to the monastery, so good on blue taking it. Both these cities are liable to a rather easy limitation, as there is only one rose left. So if blue, for example, would close this city, then this here would limit yellow city to a 50-50. As is, it's exactly the other way around. And blue can't do much about that. Of course, they could use this monastery over here, but why should you? I mean, there's this nice spot on the left side. Could have also taken just 3 points. But with 5 meeples in hand and quite a sizable gap on the virtual scoreboard, trying to play more efficient, so creating a loop road around this monastery definitely is a good idea. Now we'll see exactly what I more or less have predicted. Blue city is limited to the remaining horse. So in this case, closing this one has more downsides than upsides, actually. Maybe using it next to your monastery, just starting a new city, would have been a good or better idea even. Because this way you can't play this as a ruin, which in some cases you might like. So if yellow gets the rose, well then you are just stuck with 4 points and have no option to add road Doritos or horses on the right side, just to increase your score there with tiles you might not be able to use anywhere else or might not want to use anywhere else. So critical tiles are definitely the rose for blue and the quadruple crossroad for yellow. Although it's definitely more critical for blue, as they'd gain 8 points, 6 for the city, 2 for the road, whereas yellow would only gain 3. Blue adds another monastery, but gives away the road, or rather yellow takes it. This nice road end also threatening to block here, because there's only the one starting tile left, and there anything else yellow has to do with this Dorito? I guess not. So my money is on this move. Let's see if GUN concurs or if they have other ideas. Yeah, so GUN prevents the splitter up top with this curve. Doesn't play here because it doesn't help at the moment. Would just give yellow another meeple in the hands. So for now, it looks pretty nice for GUN. Blue relies on two 50-50s already, and they are behind on the virtual scoreboard. Plus, yellow should be able to easily get this one back and this one at the bottom as well. Plus, maybe one or both monasteries. So good news for blue, they get their rows, but yellow counters, getting the crossroad and even taking a 3 instead of the previously calculated 2-point road. So it's getting a bit closer, but still in the end, the meeple advantage of yellow should, in most cases at least, be enough for them to take home the win. But if blue were able to liberate the monasteries or close the city and obstruct yellow's road meeple here, there might still be a chance to eke out the win here. Yeah, obstruction of this city at the bottom would be nice as well. For now, I guess they just take their city on the left side. Still two crossroads there to liberate both monastery and road meeple. It's a bit better move for blue as they would get 2 points for the monasteries and also bring them to completion, but it actually doesn't help them unless, or doesn't help them a lot unless they get the starting tile beforehand. So yellow still might not play here, and the same might be true for blue as well. Ideal for blue would be to draw the starting tile and add a farmer, and then maybe close a city or close this hole next to the monasteries. Whereas yellow might opt to use the crossroad here and take the farm themselves. How about this one? Threatening the kill here, and at least forcing blue to need 2 city caps there to close this city. The added move for blue might be worth the possible 2 points you'd give them. Yeah, blue will defend, of course. And yellow takes the field or doesn't. Do they just take the 2 points or do they take the field? They take the 2 points. Okay. But for sure, someone will take this field sooner or later. And this sure looks nicer and has more options. But giving this road away would be annoying. That's the better move. There's only the starting tile left to close this immediately, plus still 3 road Doritos. There's one of these. And there's the starting tile. So this here is blocked, completely killed. These 2 meeples are dead. And at -14, you need to see a lot of good tiles to be able to still win this one, considering yellow could quite easily close this road up top. Yeah, taking the field was a must. Not sure if it had to be there, but at least this gives the two daggers to connect immediately on top of 3 curves over here. Gun might now restrict blue's city here to the 2 remaining daggers, or a Dorito city cap combination. The downside of this here is blue could use this as the second field attack to take this one over, which could be their only winning condition, maybe. -6. Not a lot of quick point tiles out there. That's an interesting idea by yellow, hoping to draw one of the extenders, but it's quite frail. The kill would be rather easy with a lot of city tiles and road tiles out there. So they score 3 points in the middle here. Notably, don't take this road, and now it's killed. +12. That's not enough if blue would be successful with the possible field takeover. And yellow's problem now is they only have the 1 meeple in hand for now, but once they get a second one, I'm pretty sure they'd take this field. They'd even have 2 options to connect to blues. So that's the second meeple in yellow's hand. They are at +14. They might not even have to do anything about this field, but we'll see. Looks like blue's running out of moves here. Yeah, and not getting the pieces they need. So the hypothetical, well, another piece blue needed and yellow got, and we'll add a farmer now, and I think I don't even need to calculate how much this could swing in blue's favor if they take over the field. It's just not enough. It won't be 21 points, so the second game will be guns as well. Yeah, doesn't do a lot. I mean, could have added this to their field, but all in all, it's just scoreboard cosmetics now. There's no winning option left for blue. Shame. I would have loved to get them one of these daggers to close their city on the left and maybe mount this field attack. But a 2-0 in a best of 5 is still not the end of the world. even though if both results look pretty close. The other way around, don't look close. Can't even pinpoint on any specific move that blue did, which did them in. Maybe the handling of these monasteries wasn't great, but what else should you do instead of using this one over here? Maybe here. Not sure if that would have worked. Yeah, I hope they know that this is a best of 5. Actually, I didn't even set the config right. Now it's correct. Yeah, looks like they know. So the second game took roughly 20 minutes as well. And again, someone wasting precious time in the beginning. Not sure why. There is not really anything to consider here except for the orientation of this road end and the city side. Oh, might be connection issues. Back again. Let's hope that's true. Let's hope they find their way to the table quickly and then get going. Yeah. Let's hope this won't be a problem in the end. Oh, well, there's a nice loop option. Why not just take it? Blue prefers to take their own city, and that's definitely fine. This one here will be there later on, and you might still be able to attack it if necessary. Creating your own city has the nice upside of being able to use extenders or vertical splitters there, which would be pretty sweet. Blue turns the cap. Blue, yeah. Yellow. Yellow turns the cap to the left because they'd rather not want to run into an issue where their city or road might get obstructed, and this L is usually asking for trouble. So if you can just have a clear split between your features, so there's only one meeple at the same time being attacked by your opponent. Or I should rather say where it's only possible to attack only one meeple at the same time. Yellow thinks quite a long time whether they should build towards blue city. The downside would be if blue gets city plus road piece, they might be able to obstruct this quite severely. And with the roads, of course, they could first attack from the top. So in that case, I'd rather just add the Dorito there. Sure, it's quite annoying if you build a part of the city where your opponent has an open side to extend the city and you can't. But in this case, where you also have the splitters available, I might just take the safe route instead of adding this here to my opponent. So I think that one was a slight misstep, imprecision, call it whatever you want, but I'm not a fan of that move. Would be different if it were a big city piece, as blue then would need to invest more to close this city on their own. But still, the prospect of this here possibly getting blocked and that in the early going, rather play it safe than. For now, yeah, quite likely they have to secure the road, else this could get obstructed soonish. But they could also opt to just take the 3 points. Then they'd have 2 options of closing the road. And obstruction be rather tricky, although this gives back an attacking possibility. That I don't like. I mean, in that case, why not take the 2 points now, have this road end in place, use the next curve, score more points than 5. This here just leaves the 5-point road for anyone to take later. And you can't really do that with the curve from the right side. Too many obstruction options, I guess. Maybe they take the loop road up top, or even just this one, although already the 6th curve gone, so a bit annoying. No, it's the 5th. Sorry, miscounted. Or counted the one in their hand twice, actually. So blue threatens to close the city soonish. And yellow might just do something about that. Or do they go for the road now? Creating a sinister / later evil hamster spot. Looks like they are not gunning for volatility. Yeah, I think I know why they used the right side, because they wanted to kill or at least severely obstruct this square. And on the left side, they can't really use this here, as it would also more or less kill their city meeple there. So they had to go for this obstruction. Yellow immediately countered, but then blue immediately countered. Well, what is it with colors today? But then yellow attacked on the left side, which again leaves interesting options for blue to attack again, plus trying to kill this one. For now, I think blue's options in this game are looking quite nice, better than yellow's even. There's a juicy road here, so the next curve might go there, which is a bit troublesome for yellow as they already need a curve up top. And right now, they might just add 1 point to their monastery, which at least indirectly would protect their city a tiny bit, as there are less or would be less pieces over here to attack this, but doesn't matter much as blue's way more likely to attack from this square, as they don't want to add anything to yellow's monastery. So yellow just takes these 2 points, takes away the monastery spot as well. Yes, the attack by blue, annoyingly for them, had to use the Rito. So even if they'd get a big city tile, they'd still need 2 pieces at least to close that city. That's nice for yellow, taking 2 points while also taking away the juicy road, at least taking away lots of pieces. Go for it. Only 2. Oh, damn it. 2 still there. Blue couldn't successfully kill here with the straight, and yellow was able to save their city there. So now the chances to complete this are actually quite great, as there are still 3 left-handed daggers in the deck. They don't care about this one. They'd rather try to liberate their monastery meeple. And I think blue should just take the 2 points, complicate yellow's monastery build, and also exert some pressure on the road building up top. Not sure that's worth this year. Could have used something else maybe later, else might even be able to take this one over if yellow even connects here. I think adding more pressure up top would have been nicer. But being consequently most often should work out fine as well. Yeah, trouble for GUN is they'd love to use it here to liberate the monastery with one of the 3 remaining monasteries as well, but leaving 2 caps lying around would be pretty critical and could end in devastating moves by opponent. This is a very interesting option. There are still lots of pieces to close this immediately, and blue might just attack or obstruct yellow's city. Then doesn't really or didn't really help you. You might be in the end worse off than without anything over here. But at least they get to finally liberate this city meeple. And there are still 2 daggers to close this city as well. Should just highlight the right one though. Yep, yellow blocks this to starting tile. Blue will quite likely secure this, as there are still 2 left in the deck, and also this road end adds possible 3 points if they don't opt to take the road, the field, which might be an option, giving yellow's dagger here, in that case, could create a 9-point field. Yellow just dumps this extender, doesn't panic over here. Panic would be adding something, because that would give blue options to then easier close this one, and you might not be able to attack it again, or do something like this here, and then waiting for a big city tile and a cap to close this. So just waiting for blue to act here should be the preferred way to handle this situation. Of course, you need a nice set of nerves. For now, in the long run, I'd still prefer blue here, but looks like yellow has a better shot now with 3 meeples in hand, plus an easy way to liberate the monastery. Let's see if blue opts for points or tries over here and would kill this monastery square. They go for the points. Why not? Secures at least an option to liberate this monastery instead of it getting blocked to a dagger from the left side, for example. If this situation at the bottom, yellow might even consider this here, just to prevent blue from adding more tiles over there. Not sure that's so great. Blue could have taken that cap. There's still a lot of caps out there, and they definitely wouldn't mind, because obstructing this ruin isn't really that big of a problem. Yeah, now doing something over here might actually work in yellow's favor. This limits the road, also gives options to at least limit this square later, although all three variants of pieces that would fit there. So quadruple city, cow and horse are still in the deck. Blue gets one of the starting tiles, loses the city, takes the road. They are now at plus 22. The best that could happen for yellow would be to draw one of the daggers and take the field. So they don't get the dagger, but at least they take the field. So blue can't beat them to the punch anymore. That's the wrong dagger. But there's still one out there. Minus 17 though, the 5 points, 8 points, excuse me, this would get you just aren't enough. And this here is quite annoying. Yeah, sure, you'd still use the monastery there, but then would be an insta-death as you'd rather use the dagger on the right side anyway. At least there is the dagger after blue was able to close the road. So the difference is at 30 points now. And the trouble for yellow is they more or less have to do something about this, because losing your precious 2 points there and possibly giving 4 points to blue, for example, like this, would be a 6-point swing, and that in this game might be more than you could handle. But this here is a nice find. That's a complete kill of blue's attacking options, so they only have this one left, and get the vanilla to immediately and successfully connect there. They do. Keep this on the left side. Quite likely because there are more caps out there to still score these 4 points, while yellow already has an open city. And also because this way there are more options to attack the field over here actually. So something like this, and then getting a straight would work nicely for them. Ideally, of course, you'd rather use a city cap to threaten the completion of the city as well. Might even use the extender now, even though I'd rather not, but at plus 21, they could go for it, because there aren't really that many options for yellow except taking this field over again. Yeah, the starting tile doesn't do much for blue. They could kill this option, as there are no curves and crossroads left. So this here would be dead. And the threat of closing the city would still be alive. Yeah, why not? They don't need to attack the field again. Maybe the defense is actually way better than adding an insurance farmer. Yeah, I think I'd go for that move. This is that. This up top, this connection at least is that. This is that. There are no crossroads, no road monasteries out there. So if this move more or less would kill the last viable option to attack the field again. And of course, you'd add the 1 point plus the threat of closing this one. Yeah, I don't see anything better. If one of you does, please chime in. Actually, you could chime in anyway, even if you don't. It's always a bit annoying having a totally blank chat. Yeah, here we go. So finally, they counted all the pieces. Yellow in pre-time time trouble. Blue takes the field at the bottom and at plus 19. What else is there? No curves left, so no ninja attacks. Yeah. Yellow goes for this. Would score some points at least. But minus 18, that's just not enough to score these 6 and 2 from here, so 8 points. But for us viewers, that's actually nice because idinidad forced at least the 4th game, and given the convincing level of play in this one, actually might be able to force the 5th game. So the decider, at least some of the neutral viewers might have hoped for in the beginning. So I need to take a quick break here. So let's see. Oh, they haven't even played the last move. Why not? Come on. I had hoped they would have been finished by now. Oh, I think they... Oh, come on, folks. Could have stretched 2 more minutes if I had known you'd need this long to start the next game, but ah, actually, I don't mind. Ugh. Don't you all love to see this one in this stage of the game? With such a nice city, pushing it down the drain by adding the marketplace here. But at least there is the 20% chance or so of you running away with this city, having a nice sizable early lead, and then being able just to rope-a-dope your opponent the rest of the way. But we'll see how this one turns out. Yes, fireworks. I mean, could have gone over here. Yeah, would be more secure, but this here takes away attacking options. And ideally, Gun would have hoped for a Dorito. Ideally, I said, so a road Dorito, as you'd rather use field Doritos on the left side of your city. Whoa, more fireworks. Maybe killing the square, winning a mini battle as second option, but in this case, I would have preferred simple one. Yeah, the road end is annoying, but there might still be options to attack Blue's road this way. Yeah, not sure. We'll see how this turns out. There are just too many permutations. And there are still the vertical splitters available. So going for closing this city and threatening the vertical splitters here is definitely okay. But Blue quite likely will use this one in either direction. Let's see which they prefer. Or if they even go there. Might be not their style to play this aggressively. But just for fun, let's consider these moves. So the biggest downside of that one would be a move like this, killing the square, possibly killing 2 of your meeples. The upside would be 1 piece over here and a few here, and you could take the city away. And even if yellow were to counterattack up top, you could then try and kill this attacking square. So would have been definitely more fun to see that move, but this one is for sure a way safer approach, and could still end up in Yellow City anyway. So what will Yellow do with this cow now? Quite annoying. This doesn't really work, although it could exert pressure on this square, which then 3 features of Blue might rely on. So they go for this connection and the block doesn't work out. But if blue defends here, then there's still the splitter available. But also the same number of extenders. So, how do you call it? Volatility. Have ourselves 50-50 flips. And it also creates another option for yellow to attack this possibly shared city. So quite the interesting situation here. And there would have been still an option for blue to split their small city from the bigger one. They elect not to do that. In this case, with the monastery next to it, safer approach might have been fine. Now they risk getting blocked over here with two left-handed daggers already gone. Two, not three. Good news for yellow. They get one of the crucial extenders. Actually, let's add them. They are indeed quite critical and even have an open city cap to adequately use the extender. I mean, it was born to extend cities. That's why it's called extender. And now blue even added the cow here just so that this square wouldn't be blocked to a 50-50. Guess we'll see yellow attacking here. Yes, even with this one, which they could have used quite profitably elsewhere. That's the last left-handed dagger. Doesn't matter now. Yeah, that works out nicely for blue. So they get the right-handed dagger to close up the city there. And now they just need to get a road Dorito. Else, if yellow splits, well, okay. I'll spare you the details as this square is dead now, and the option of unifying this one with blue's part of the city and then not having big trouble with yellow splitter is gone. It evaporated with this vanilla. So blue for sure needs to get their hands on an extender. Else yellow would get a meeple back and also add what is it, 12 points to their slim lead. Nah, just 10 points because blue would get 2 as well. But still, with the upper hand in terms of meeple count, easy to liberate meeples as well. The splitter, at least if it would arrive in one of the next, let's say, 10 to 15 moves, would be pretty decisive. So chances for yellow are looking good here. It's of course more likely that they'd draw the splitter than blue drawing an extender, just because there are 3 splitters left and only 2 extenders. Yellow tried to cripple blue's game by killing this square. It didn't work out. By the way, this here isn't dead. There's still the option of getting a curve and a starting tile to liberate the monk. Blue obstructs yellow's road, but yellow gets one of the remaining crossroads immediately. Nice for them. And now doesn't look that bad. Sneaky option of trying to kill this square and then killing the city meeple of yellow as well, although there are still 2 splitters out there. Meanwhile, this square was just killed by yellow and they take the 6 points from the ruin. I think that's a tad early, given your opponent doesn't have an abundance of meeples and won't get more than 3 meeples in this game into their hands anymore. Also, the next extender in yellow's hands gets more and more likely that yellow will get this splitter sometime. The only good news for blue is that it won't come with the juicy field, as of now at least. The best yellow could do would be to extend this possible field to the bottom and the right side. And if they were able to achieve this, this would be a 9-point field and could be all they need. Right now, sizable lead of 18 points after these moves here. First of the 3 vertical splitters is in blue's hand. May think about meepling a field, maybe. Not sure. More connection issues again. Yeah, I guess yellow won't care about their monastery. Just closing this one here while severely limiting blue's city meeple. Definitely the way to go. And the third extender is also in yellow's hands. So, well, I'm actually not one for creating, I don't know, points out of thin air. I don't see any way for blue to come back in this game. With these 4 meeples being stuck, sure, they could take a nice field at the bottom, another road, and pieces that would add up to roughly 20 points easily. But yellow gets pieces as well and can obstruct your features and could take fields themselves. So quite annoying. Might even add this here, then take a road or maybe the field once they complete this. Or they might prefer not to leave this somewhere open. Yeah, adding this to the monastery works, of course. More efficient, even though this would give blue the chance to kill the square now. But at -23, they just don't have the moves to do something like that. And here we go. There is one of the splitters in yellow's hands, and at +30, this game is done. So GUN007 will win this match 3-1 versus idinidad, and marches on to the final against Pakshi, hoping, of course, to then take the juicy Champions League group spot for themselves and not having Pakshi beat them. But still, Pakshi should be the favorite. He is the strongest Thai player and might even be by quite a stretch. But still, it's Carcassonne, and I think their round robin encounter was pretty close. Maybe Gun even won. Not sure. Let me quickly check. Yeah, Gun was able to beat Pakshi in the round robin, 2-1. So definitely has the chops to beat Pakshi in a best of 5 as well, no matter if I favor Pakshi or not. Yeah, most precise would be this one here. That would be 9-point field, and you don't even care if blue would connect here and maybe take it over later. Yeah, this works as well. Still 2 curves left to close the monastery. Now blue takes this field over here because there's still the possibility of closing this city there, and quite likely they hope to unify these 3 fields, even though that doesn't score a lot. Actually, it would only take 6 points away from yellow. And without a meeple in hand, you can't even score the road points. This is dead. There's nothing to go here. So scoreboard cosmetics it is. Yeah, come on. You set it up. Follow through, please. Or killing this here. And then hoping to draw the remaining curve and a straight. Just because if you'd use this, then yellow could even tie a possible united big field. I'm not sure. In a situation like this, where the game is totally and utterly decided, actually, I don't care for precision anymore. Might be an outlier that way, but why waste your concentration on this, even if it's the last game of a match? Yeah, this one. Although there's actually no way to take the main field without yellow. If you get a straight on your last turn, then yellow would have straight and splitter for their last 2 turns. So in the end, this whole shebang would be one big field with 2 meeples of yellow and 2 meeples of blue. Ah, damn it. I missed that there was still this vanilla in there, so I was wrong. Blue could draw both straights and win this field, and in that case, I don't really get why they didn't use the vanilla up top. There was no curve or crossroad left, so it would only add points to their field. Yeah, in the end, 37 points. So this over here was the decisive factor in this game. I won't say that their attack here was wrong, but this move was pretty optimistic with their monastery here, so should have been like this. Maybe just going for the safer option, adding this Dorito over here to later close this part, or if necessary, split your small city from the bigger one. Might have been the preferred option. Alas, it didn't happen, and GUN was able to take this best of 5 with a 3-1 score. Looks like it's a tournament. Yeah, it's a tournament, so they just abandon, or quite likely will abandon the 5th game. So let's check the tournament situation again. So GUN1 versus idinidad 3-1, and Pakshi1 versus Natpira 3-2. These two meet in the finals, and idinidad will play versus Natpira for the 3rd place. Let's hop back to the list of qualification spots. So the winner of the final will get a main stage ticket. The silver medalist will get a ticket to Q1. And I'm not sure how they'd distribute the Asian Cup ticket to Q3. Maybe they decide that the 3rd place finisher in the THCOC will get this ticket. I think that would only be fair. On the other hand, they might just take a look at the scores of the Asian Cup and just give the ticket to their MVP or the player that isn't in the final, that was the best one at the Asian Cup. I don't know. We'd have to ask them. Maybe I'll do that later. So for now, that's it for me. Let's take a quick peek at the schedule of the remaining matches for today. There is a Romanian online championship I think, round 2 game. Nunu Dada, yeah, nice nickname, very creative, versus Mars 15. Mars definitely quite the favorite here. And looks like something doesn't work here, as this for sure is no 5-star rated match. Yeah, it's a 1-star rated match because Nunu Dada quite likely has an elo somewhere below 400, I guess. Then later at 1815 UTC, there is the Croatian Autumn League quarterfinal between Buha 44 and Yuto 171, which I will cover. And if these two would play pretty slowly, I might run into trouble because at 20 UTC I've already have lined up the next stream. But I hope we'll be able to start this one from the first moves and not with the delay. We'll see about that. That's the semifinal in this year's Hungarian Carcassonne Online Championship between David 44 and F. Chaba. So thanks for tuning in. I hope to see you later. Hope this was interesting for you. If you have any feedback, you know where to leave it. If not, check the description. It's all there. Thank you. Bye-bye.